Hey guys, welcome back to UK Highland Photography. I'm Strober and today we're going to be talking about stops within the ISO range. Now basically we all know what a stop is in general. A stop will either double the amount of light into the camera or it will half the amount of light entering into a camera. For example, if you're on an aperture of f8 and if you move up to an aperture of f6, then that means you've doubled the amount of light entering into the camera. However, if you're on f8 and you move down a stop to f11, then that means that you've halved the amount of light entering into the camera. So we're all aware of what stops are. But did you know that there's also stops within the ISO range? For example, here in red we have ISO 100, then we have ISO 200, 400, 800 and 1600. Now these are basically stops, so that means if you're on ISO 100 and you move over to 200, you're going to double the amount of light. If you're on ISO 100 and then you move to 200, you double the amount of light. Move to 400, you've doubled the amount of light again. And if you move to 800, you've doubled the amount of light again. So these are stops within the ISO range. Stops are in standard. In photography, stops are standard. So in aperture, the stops will be standard. And I've actually got this sheet here of the standard stops within photography. Now, this is what I'm getting at. What I've noticed, particularly with ISO on my camera, one sec. So, on my digital camera here, I have noticed that I have additional numbers within my ISO range. So, if I'm on ISO 100, let me just check this, guys. So if I come all the way down to ISO 100, okay, I've got ISO 100. If I turn my wheel dial, I will go to ISO 125. Now, if I go to ISO, let me use my correct hand. If I go to ISO 125, then I'm not doubling the amount of light, because if I want to double the amount of light with ISO, then I need to go to ISO 200. So what 125 is 125 is an increment of a stop. So you see what I mean? So you're just letting in a fraction more light. Just because you go from ISO 100 to ISO 125 does not mean you're doubling the amount of light. Instead, it only means you're letting in a fraction of that light compared to ISO 200, because again, it's ISO 200 that will double the amount of light. Now if I move my wheel dial again, let me press ISO button, move again, we go to 160. So that's ISO 160. Again, that is not a stop. That is just a fraction of a stop. Because if I want to move a stop, then I've got to jump from ISO 100 all the way to ISO 200. Anything else is just an increment of a stop in between. So if I just keep moving on and having a look, I've rotated, now I'm at 200. So now I'm at 200, I rotate my ISO, now I get 250. So you see what I mean? I get an increment of 250. If I move it again, I get an increment of 320. And then if I move it again, I get ISO 400. So as you can see, if I wanted to double the amount of light with ISO, I would have jumped from 200 to ISO 400. That doubles the amount of light, okay? That always doubles the amount of light. So if I move from ISO 400 all the way to 800, I again would have doubled the amount of light, because it always doubles. So anything else in between here is again an increment. So I'm just going to finish this off here, and then by the end of the video you will now know that ISO has increments of stops within it. So let's finish it off. So I'm currently on 400. I'm going to go to 500, ISO 500, then I'm going to go to 640, and then again, when I move over ISO button, I am on 800. So as you can see, this is a two stop increment all the way down the ISO range. So you see what I mean, guys? So there you go. That is basically increments of a stop within the ISO range on modern day DSLR cameras. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.